Emma Park clutches her worn leather chess case to her chest as she approaches the registration desk of the International Grand Prix Chess Championship. Her gray cardigan hangs loose on her small frame. Her sensible shoes squeak against the polished marble floor of the luxury hotel ballroom. Unlike the other competitors in their tailored suits and designer dresses, Emma looks like she might be delivering room service rather than competing in the world's most prestigious chess tournament. The registration official glances up, his eyes quickly scanning Emma before returning to his computer with obvious dismissal. "Service entrance is through the back," he says without looking at her again. "I'm here to register," Emma says softly, her voice barely audible above the elegant chatter filling the ornate space. "For the tournament." The official's head snaps up, confusion playing on his face. "The tournament? This is the International Grand Prix." "Yes," Emma confirms, sliding her invitation across the desk. "Emma Park. I qualified through the Eastern Regional last month." The man examines her invitation with visible skepticism. Around them, several competitors have paused their conversations to observe the exchange. One woman in a sleek pantsuit leans toward her companion and whispers something that makes them both snicker behind manicured hands. "This appears to be in order," the official admits reluctantly, "though I'm not familiar with your FIDE ranking." 2498, Emma supplies quietly. A burst of laughter erupts from a nearby group of men, the sound sharp and mocking. The tallest among them, Viktor Korchnoi, the defending world champion and a Grandmaster since his teenage years, makes no effort to lower his voice. "Did she say 2,498? Someone's added a digit to their club rating." His Russian accent is thick, his disdain thicker. Perhaps she thinks this is the hotel's chess club for tourists. More laughter ripples through the gathering. The official behind the desk allows himself a small smirk as he processes Emma's registration with obvious reluctance. "Table assignment 14, he says, handing her a badge. "Preliminary rounds begin in 30 minutes. Emma takes the badge with steady hands, ignoring the stares and whispers that follow her as she makes her way to a vacant corner of the room. She sets her ancient chess case on a small side table and opens it carefully. Inside, a hand-carved wooden chess set nestles in faded velvet. The pieces are nothing like the tournament standard plastic sets being unpacked around the room. Hers are worn smooth from years of handling, each piece telling a story of countless games played in parks and cafes. A shadow falls across her table. Emma looks up to meet the cold, assessing gaze of Viktor Korchnoi. "You don't belong here," he says, not bothering with pleasantries. His custom suit probably costs more than Emma makes in months as a public school math teacher. This tournament has a reputation to maintain. Emma says nothing, her fingers resting lightly on her knight, an old piece with a chip in its ear. "Real chess requires years of study, theory, dedication," Victor continues, his voice carrying to ensure others hear his pronouncement. "Not just moving pieces around a board in the park with other amateurs." The word amateurs drips with such condescension that several onlookers wince despite their amusement. "I've studied," Emma says simply. Victor laughs, the sound sharp as breaking glass. "Of course you have. Let me guess, you've read a book or two. Watched some YouTube tutorials." He glances at her worn pieces, with equipment from a yard sale. Emma's eyes remain steady, though a flush creeps up her neck. "These were my grandfather's. He taught me to play." "How touching," Victor mocks. "A family heirloom. Well, here's some free advice from an actual Grandmaster. Withdraw before you embarrass yourself. Some hotel guest probably dropped their invitation, and you picked it up thinking it was your lottery ticket to fame." The tournament director approaches, frowning at the gathering crowd. "Is there a problem here, Mr. Korchnoi?" "No problem," Victor says smoothly. "Just welcoming new blood to the tournament, though I doubt she'll last beyond the first round." "I'll be fine," Emma says, her quiet voice somehow carrying through the murmurs. "Thank you for your concern." Victor narrows his eyes at her lack of intimidation. "Tell you what," he says suddenly, a cruel smile playing at his lips. "Let's have a little demonstration. A pre-tournament exhibition. You and me right now." A hush falls over the room. The tournament director looks uncomfortable. Mr. Korchnoi, that's not on the schedule. Just a friendly game, Victor insists. For educational purposes. 5 minutes of my time to show our unexpected guest what real chess looks like. He turns to the gathering crowd. What do you say? Would you like to see the caliber of play you can expect from this championship? Murmurs of agreement ripple through the spectators. Emma sits very still, her hands folded in her lap. Miss Park is under no obligation, the director begins. I'll play. Emma interrupts softly. Victor's smile widens. Excellent. Let's use a proper set, though. He gestures dismissively at her wooden pieces. Tournament standard. A sleek electronic board is quickly set up at one of the demonstration tables. Spectators gather around, phones ready to capture what they expect will be a humiliating defeat. Emma takes her place across from Victor, looking even smaller opposite his imposing frame. White or black? Victor asks generously, though everyone knows he prefers black, a psychological tactic to demonstrate his superiority by winning from the traditionally disadvantaged position. You choose, Emma replies. Black, Victor says with a predatory smile. I'll even give you a handicap. I'll defeat you in under 10 moves. Titters of anticipation spread through the crowd. Emma simply nods and makes her first move. Pawn to e4. Victor responds instantly. Knight to f6. Emma's next move comes after only a brief pause. Knight to f3. The Grandmaster smirks and moves his pawn to e5. Emma slides her knight to e5, capturing Victor's pawn. The crowd murmurs, a basic opening exchange, nothing surprising. Victor captures her knight with his pawn. d6 takes e5. His confidence is absolute, his posture relaxed as he barely glances at the board. Emma moves her queen to e2. Victor's eyebrows rise slightly. An unusual move, but nothing concerning. He develops another piece, bishop to e7. Emma's next move silences the room. Queen to e5. Victor stares at the board, his expression changing from smugness to confusion to dawning horror in the span of 3 seconds. He studies the position, his fingers hovering over his pieces, but there's no escape. His king is trapped in a devastating attack pattern that even novice players in the audience can now recognize. That's not possible, he whispers. It's the fishing pole trap, Emma says softly. A variation of the Fegatello attack. Checkmate in one more move. Victor's face contorts with rage and disbelief. You got lucky. A parlor trick. Would you like to continue? Emma asks. The tournament director leans over, examining the board. Mr. Korchnoi is in checkmate position with his next move, he announces, unable to keep the surprise from his voice. The crowd erupts in shocked whispers. Victor stands abruptly, toppling his king with a sharp flick of his finger. A fluke, he declares loudly. A memorized opening trap that only works against someone who isn't taking the game seriously. Emma remains seated, her expression unchanged. Thank you for the game, she says simply. As Victor storms away, his entourage scrambling to follow, the tournament director turns to Emma with new respect in his eyes. That was unexpected, Miss Park. My grandfather taught me that trap, she explains, her voice still quiet but somehow filling the space Victor's bluster has vacated. He said chess isn't about who you are or what you wear. It's about how you think. The official who had dismissed her earlier approaches, extending his hand. Please forgive my earlier rudeness. I didn't realize. You couldn't have known. Emma interrupts gently. After all, I'm just a woman in an old cardigan. As the preliminary rounds begin, Emma's table is no longer in the corner, but in the center of the hall. Spectators gather to watch the unassuming woman with the public school teacher's salary and the gifted mind. Her opponents no longer underestimate her, but it doesn't matter. Her rating of 2,498 wasn't an exaggeration. One win follows another. During a break, a young girl approaches her, chess book clutched in hand. Miss Park, could I have your autograph? I want to be like you someday. Emma smiles, signing the book. Be better than me, she tells the girl. And remember, it's not about impressing people. It's about the game. 3 days later, Emma sits across from Victor Korchnoi in the tournament finals. The Grandmaster has fought his way through the brackets, demolishing opponents with increasingly aggressive play, as if to erase the memory of his exhibition defeat. He doesn't look at Emma as the final game begins, his focus entirely on the board. This time, there are no shortcuts, no quick defeats. The game stretches for hours, a brutal test of endurance and skill. Move by move, the position grows more complex, more demanding. In the end, it comes down to a subtle advantage in the endgame, a single pawn's position that Emma leverages with surgical precision. When Victor finally sees the inevitable conclusion 15 moves ahead, he stares at her with something approaching respect before tipping his king. Resignation, he announces, the word clearly painful. Ms. Park wins. The applause is thunderous. As Emma accepts the championship trophy, cameras flash around her. Her cardigan is still the same, her shoes still sensible, but no one is laughing now. Later, as she packs her grandfather's chess set back into its worn case, Victor approaches her again. "You should have told us who you were," he says, accusation in his voice. "You misrepresented yourself." Emma closes her case with a soft click. "I didn't misrepresent anything. I presented my invitation and my rating. The rest was your assumption. But you're a woman in an old cardigan." Emma finishes for him. "Who happens to play chess?" "Who are you really?" Victor demands. No one's heard of Emma Park before this tournament. She shoulders her bag, the trophy tucked under her arm. "I'm exactly who I appear to be. A math teacher from Chicago who learned chess from her grandfather. The difference is, now you're actually seeing me." As Emma walks away, her phone rings. She answers with a smile, her voice warm. "Hi, Grandpa. Yes, I used the fishing pole, just like you taught me." In the hotel lobby, she passes a newspaper stand. The evening edition already features her victory on the front page. Unknown teacher defeats chess world, redefines Grandmaster status. Emma doesn't stop to buy a copy. She has papers to grade before school tomorrow, and her students won't care about chess tournaments or trophies, or proving points to people who judge by appearances. They'll just want to know if they got their algebra problems right. But perhaps, she thinks as she steps into the evening air, they might be interested in learning chess. After all, it's not about where you come from or what you wear. It's about how you think, and having the courage to take your place at the board when the whole world tells you that you don't belong. If you enjoyed this story of quiet brilliance and sweet justice, hit the like button, share with friends who appreciate seeing arrogance checkmated, and subscribe for more tales that warm the heart while serving unexpected victories. Drop a comment below sharing a time when someone underestimated you. We'd love to hear your story.